All right, good morning, everybody. If you are there, you can hear me, please type a yes so you can
Good morning,
respond.
sir.
Good morning, sir.
All right.
Good
Good
morning, sir.
morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I want to welcome us to a new trading week. Apologies, we started a little late, sorting out a few things. All right, so today is 29th of April. The month is really coming to an end. Tomorrow will be the last day of the month. Then, hey, morning, Mr. John Egon. Morning, Mr. Jude, and every other person, who has typed in the chat box. All right. So the month is ending. Like I always say, towards the end of the month, appraise yourself. How far have you, been able to improve as a trader in the course of the month? All the services we give at PU Prime, are you able to convert them to some measure of profit for yourself? Appraise yourself. The analysis for last week generated a total of 966 pips. It really was quite massive. You can verify at least the direction of those instruments by using the weekly outlook, which I dropped last week. You can confirm the direction. But there were even some trade calls that were had during the week, which I don't normally include in the result of the weekly outlook. I only always focus on the result of the weekly outlook I give on Monday when I'm dropping that report, not even the other trades that come up during the week. So we give a lot of opportunities, and that's from me alone. My other colleagues to drop signals here and there, which were always profitable. At least to a large extent, we can say that the signals and analysis we give at PU Prime, on the very least, I would say about 75 to 80% accuracy, even though in real sense is actually higher than that. But let's just use that as a benchmark. So you have something really that works with PU Prime. So if you are still there, you are still sitting on the fence, you like JPU Prime or not, even if you are somewhere else, I believe they are not giving you the service we're giving you. So that should tell you that you need to come over with PU Prime to open an account and get started with us so that you can be a part of the PU Prime brand. All right, so let's get started to what we have today. And we'll look at the fundamentals, then we'll go over to check on the technicals. Now, there'll be a lot of fundamental activity this week. Even today, Monday, there are two fundamental events from the Eurozone. One, we have the Spanish flash CPI yearly by 8 a.m. That's roughly 45 minutes from now. And there is also another one, which is a German prelim CPI. This is all day. So that one can take place anytime within the day. There's no specific time given for that one. So let's take note of these two events. So it means we need to take caution around the euro pairs today. And tomorrow, because of time, I'll just focus on the key events. Tomorrow, we're having retail sales from Australia by 2:30 a.m. in the morning. You may stay awake to trade that. That'll be 2:30 a.m. in the morning. And also tomorrow by 10 a.m., we have the core CPI flash estimate and the CPI flash estimate, by 10 a.m. tomorrow. Now, all of them, they're actually medium impact events, but you see, the news they represent can be volatile. So even if it may not be as volatile as if it were to be a high impact event, some volatility is still expected because retail sales and CPI, they are major economic indicators in the Forex market. And tomorrow, Tuesday, by 1:30 p.m., there is the GDP, gross domestic product from Canada. It's be tradable. So we have a lot of tradable events tomorrow. Employment cost index. Anything employment, you don't joke with it. This might also move the market. That's from the United States by 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, simultaneously, with the news from Canada. And those are then there's unemployment change and unemployment rate and employment change from New Zealand tomorrow night by 11:45 p.m. Now, this is New Zealand's version of NFP, if you want to put it that way, employment, change and unemployment rate. So that will be very tradable tomorrow night. Let's take note of that. And followed by, now on Wednesday, there are a lot of holidays across from Eurozone and Switzerland, but by 1:15 p.m. on Wednesday, there will be the ADP non-farm employment change. That will come up by 1:15 p.m. and final manufacturing PMI by 2:45 p.m. And on that Wednesday, but Wednesday is all the dollar. Dollar is really going to be moving massively with all the fundamental activities that will be taking place from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Different, events that will impact upon the dollar. There's FOMC, federal funds rate, FOMC press statements, and also Bank of Canada Governor Macklem rather, will give a speech. On Thursday, there will be the CPI. Don't joke with CPI. CPI can be, very massive, regardless of the country where it's coming from. On Thursday, there'll be CPI from Switzerland by 7:30 a.m. Unemployment claims from the United States by 1:30 p.m. These are the two tradable events on Thursday, and they can be they are high impact events. So let's watch out. And on Friday, we have the biggest one, the average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and the unemployment rate. That's the biggest event for Friday, not just Friday alone, even for this week. So, and we've been doing a lot of announcements ahead of the NFP. So if you're there, we're going to be trading live again for NFP this Friday. It's going to be live trading. The flyers will be out. I think we shared some last week. It will be shared again. There are some of the WhatsApp groups where you have these flyers. You are expected, if you are to join this live trading event on Friday, you are expected to have a funded account. This time around, it's going to be filtered strictly for funded clients. When we did last month, it was general to everybody, even the CPI live trading to a general. But this time around, NFP is going to be strictly for PU Prime funded clients. So if you are right there, you are yet to open an account with PU Prime, you've been taking money analysis signal, afternoon signal, you don't have a live account. This time around, you need a live account to attend the NFP this Friday. So just head straight now to www.puprime.com and open an account immediately. You will need to verify your account with two documents, first being your government issued ID, which can be your driver's license, your national ID card, your voter's card, or your international passport. And the second document will be your proof of residence, which can be any utility bill, either your NEPA bill, your water rate bill, your Loma bill if you're based in Lagos, as long as those bills are written in your name. But peradventure those bills are not in your name, then you can use your 3 to 6 months bank statement as your proof of residence. But the moment you open an account, your account manager from PU Prime will reach out to you and will guide you through the entire registration process. And after you open an account, you are expected to fund the account to be a part of the NFP live trading session this Friday. All right, so let's now get started into what we have. I've mentioned the fundamental events that we have for the week. And for today, we have two. That'll be later. Just a second, please. All right, so for today, we have one by 8 a.m. That's the Euro Spanish plus CPI yearly. We'll check on that. Well, basically, by 8 o'clock, the forecast is 3.4%. If the actual is greater, that is 3.5% and above, we'll be looking to buy the euro. And if the actual is less than 3.4%, we'll be looking to sell the euro. It's just straightforward. It's just a one item event. So let's put that in mind by 8 o'clock. So I'll flip over now to the MetaTrader platform to check for the technical outlook for the week. All right, so we are on MetaTrader. Now, the first instrument I want to take a look at is the dollar index. Now, lately, dollar index has not been, so stable. At least last week, we anticipated that price would hit the resistance, which happened. But then we anticipated a further drop as a double top. Then we expected a breakout, but that really did not happen last week. But currently, what I'm seeing, let's start a proper top-down analysis. If you go to from the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that the first above there we're supposed to have a resistance, but price didn't really hit that resistance level on the other time frame. So we have a resistance on the weekly time frame, but the candle on this other two previous candles just got close, did not really hit that resistance like that. Let's go to the daily. We can see there is a gap. It's not really touching it. So we can still drop down. Okay, so from that daily rather, let's just take it from there and not waste time. I can have another resistance line. But this time around, this other candle here clearly touched the resistance and we had a minor bearish movement. All right. So our resistance is much more reflected on the daily compared to the weekly time frame. So if we zoom down now, what I can see here, I don't want to call it a head and shoulder directly, but that's what it looks like. Only the head is not, projecting as expected, but it can still pass for a reversal, pattern. And we can still draw another one here to form something that looks like, a rising wedge, something like that. But then what I personally am looking at now is the possibility, we can call it a triple top pattern, which could lead to a bearish breakout on the dollar. That's what I'm seeing, except the market structure changes. What I'm seeing is a more clear bearish breakout on the dollar index. Now, if that is what is happening on the dollar index, then we can check the other dollar pairs. Now, USD CHF, now we've been bearish on USD CHF the whole of last week, even though I clearly said at the beginning of last week, if you remember my analysis, I said price was going to touch here to complete the double top, then we have a breakout. And currently that has happened. Price has acted, a double top, and it has broken out of the trend line. We have a rising wedge. This is as far back as last week. Let's go to the daily and the weekly. Yeah, on the weekly time frame, it was a very clear resistance level on the weekly time frame, and it was still it was a support here. It's a case of a support turned resistance, which is like a key level, and technically we expected the dollar to go bearish. So this is a confirmation from the dollar index even down to the USDCHF that we're looking at the possibility of a bearish movement on the USDCHF. So we expect the USDCHF to sell, this week. However, for us to make entry, it's preferable that price breaks out below the neckline of the double top pattern. We need to follow the trading rule. It's a double top, and we have the neckline. Price is expected to break out below the neckline. Now, in the weekly market outlook, I will drop the specific entry points so that we can use that, to trade this particular setup. So you can watch out, but then I'm already showing you on Fibonacci what to do. If price gets to this neckline at 97.58, you can actually trigger the sell and target, the Fibonacci levels 13.250 and 61.8 as your profit taking level. So I'm bearish on the USDCHF. I'm bearish on the dollar index. Now, this is a swing setup. So we should note that, while trading this instrument. So for the sake of clarity, I think I'll first of all mention the swing setup, then I'll go to the intraday setup so that we don't get confused along the line. So the dollar index and the USDCHF, they are bearish. Now, I'll go to the next swing setup, and that is the BTC USD. Now for BTC USD, if you check the daily time frame, this is what we have. We have price, trending up. Sorry, this is a weekly time frame, not daily. We have a price on an uptrend on the weekly time frame. If we zoom down to the daily, we have price bouncing off. Now, technically, we were looking at a possible bullish breakout last week. Then, as of last week, this was forming an inverse head and shoulder, which was supposed to break out upwards, but then that didn't work out as planned. Rather, we saw it trending down. But if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, what I'm seeing currently is still on that uptrend. I'm seeing the possibility of an inverse head and shoulder, which can still lead to that bullish breakout we were looking at, that we expected earlier. And I can still go ahead to draw a trend line right here and a second one right here to form a falling wedge. So we have an uptrend on the daily time frame, an inverse head and shoulder on 4-hour, a falling wedge on 4-hour, which we anticipate will lead to a bullish breakout. So I'm bullish on the BTC. Now, that's on 4-hour. To be honest, trading BTC on 4-hour, you need to be cautious because of the volatility. You can still drop down to 1 hour or even 15 minutes to refine your entry, because for those who trade BTC, they know it can be very volatile. Since what we're looking at is a bullish breakout, you can still come down to 15 minutes time frame and catch, an early move. It's still a falling wedge on 15 minutes. But then if you are trading on 15 minutes, I will advise you wait for price to break out above this current high. So if price breaks out above this, minor resistance here, then you can trigger a buy on BTC USD, at least on the short term, you can catch a move. Then you can now go to the bigger time frame, like for the 4-hour time frame later on to still catch a bigger move. But the initial move here, because this already clearly is forming a double bottom rather, a double bottom here, which where this place here is the neckline, So I would suggest you drop down to 15 minutes and catch some move first before going to the 1-hour or the 4-hour time frame. So I'm bullish on the BTC USD. The next swing setup I want to look at is the New Zealand CAD. The New Zealand CAD. Now, the New Zealand CAD, if we start the analysis from the weekly time frame, okay, I have a pending trade call there. All right. Now, from the weekly time frame, if we are to do a close analysis on this, what I'm seeing is a formation of a double bottom pattern, which should lead to a bullish breakout. So that's the first look on this one on the weekly time frame. So from the weekly, I actually hold, at a glance, I hold a bullish outlook on this instrument. Now, kindly mute your device. Mr. Barra, good news. Kindly mute your device as you join us. So on the weekly, I can see the formation of a double bottom, but then that's not all. You still need to look closely. I can draw a trend line right here. And with this one now, I can see that price is trying to bounce off the trend line in the bullish direction. We have the second touch here. At the third touch, there was a bullish breakout. There was a minor touch line here. This is a minor movement, which is now evolving into the double bottom. So we expect further bullish breakout. So from the weekly time frame, I have a bullish sentiment on the New Zealand CAD. And if I take it further, this is actually a symmetrical triangle coming on this instrument. It's actually a symmetrical triangle. So we have the lower trend line right now trying to go in the bullish direction to touch this side. Maybe it can now lead to a breakout upwards, or it can lead to a breakout downwards. That's still in the futuristic, but then we are looking at what we can trade for this week. So we've established an uptrend on the weekly time frame, which is now on the daily time frame. If you take a closer look, this is forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern. And we can take that down to the 4 hour, and we still see it's the same inverse head and shoulder on 4 hour time frame. So we have an uptrend on the weekly, a double bottom on the weekly, and inverse head and shoulder on the 4 hour. I can tell you for free that this will make a bullish breakout this week. So I'm bullish biased on the New Zealand card. So watch out for the weekly outlook. I'll give you all the entry and the take profit levels of this particular trade call. But it's a bullish one, and I tell you this will be one of the let me use the word like guaranteed kind of trades, for this week. I see, though it's not looking like a very volatile instrument, but then it's accuracy that matters. To Fibonacci 61.8, it can give like 20 pips. To Fibonacci 78 can give about 50 pips round figure, and to Fibonacci 100 can give about 85. The 20, 50, 85, that's well over about 150 pips combined if you're taking three trades. So I have a bullish outlook on the New Zealand card, and it's a 4 hour setup. It's a swing setup. So if you're a swing trader, don't sleep on this one. This can make you money, this week. All right, so the next swing setup I want to check is gold. Gold, if the dollar is bearish, then gold will be bullish. And this, I believe most of us are aware of this simple fact about trading. If the dollar is bearish, gold is expected to be bullish. And that is what, we've been watching on gold since last week. If you remember my analysis on gold last week, we have an uptrend on the daily time frame. And there was a rejection candle here on the trend line, which I said should lead to a bullish continuation. But then the remaining part of last week, we didn't have that bullish, we just had a range. But currently what I'm seeing here is what looks a lot like a double bottom, which should lead to a bullish continuation. Now, this is on the 4 hour time frame. We can still scale down to a lower time frame to get a more refined entry. But on the 4 hour, it's actually an inverse head and shoulder. So that one is confirmed. You understand? That is confirmed. But just to have a more refined entry, can still jump down to like 1 hour and even 15 minutes, And on 15 minutes, we can have a trend line right there, a second trend line to form a falling wedge. And all things being equal, this can even be an inverse head and shoulder that will lead to a bullish breakout. But peradventure that it doesn't happen that way, we don't control the market. All I will say is this: if price breaks out above this current level, this minor resistance here, you can trigger a buy on gold. I'll repeat that again. This is 15 minutes time frame on gold. If price breaks out above this minor resistance level I just drew, you can trigger a buy on gold. And coincidentally, that level even falls on Fibonacci 50. That tells you a measure of accuracy in what I just said. So I will put it all in the weekly, outlook. That should give us from Fibonacci 61.8 can give about 40 pips. Fibonacci 78 can give 95 pips, and Fibonacci 100 can give 165 pips. All right, let's do something. Let me put this as a trade call once and for all so that we can take it. Because I know there are people who have, gold traders who are itching to take a trade. Let me just put it in the notepad, and I'll drop it in the chat box straight away. So gold's buy stop at, okay, so If there's a breakout on gold, do we need to wait for a test? No, sir. If you're trading manually, you might. But if I'm giving you pending order, you don't need to wait for a test. Because the reason why I say you should not wait for a test is this. If this works out as an inverse head and shoulder, this pattern is powerful enough to, have the volatility to push through. So in such case, you may not wait for a test. However, like I said, if you're trading manually and you want to wait for a test, you can do that. But the entry point I'm giving you is a safe one. So a retest may not be so necessary. However, I will advise you take due caution and trade with proper risk management. And if you've been on this platform, I always emphasize on that. Don't say, oh, PE Prime is giving us signal. It is 100% guaranteed. So let me use one standard lot. Sorry, we don't do that here. Still practice risk management no matter who is giving you the signal. So do a buy stop on gold at 2336.36, a TP1 at 2340.07, and a TP2 at 2345.63, and a stop loss at 2332.25. So trade with caution and practice risk management. All right, so I'll drop it now. You can take that. All right, so that's the trade call on gold. Now, like I said, trade with caution. If you on an account less than $300, please trade 0.01. If you're on an account less than $1,000, don't go beyond 0.02. This is gold. You understand? Manage your risk as much as possible because gold can be volatile. Okay, so let's make some progress. So I've mentioned the instruments that are on the swing side today. I've mentioned USD CHF, the dollar index, BTC, and New Zealand CAD and gold. Now there's another instrument I'll be putting my eyes on this week, and that's the US oil. Personally, I have interest on this instrument. I do a lot of analysis on it because it talks about crude oil in the global market. Now, let me erase all this and get started afresh. Now, the weekly time frame, we can see that this instrument is in a downtrend on the weekly time frame. It's on a downtrend, and the price has touched the trend line the third time here, giving us a bearish movement in the process. Now, if we go further to the daily time frame, we can clearly see that we're having a head and shoulder information, which should lead to a bearish breakout. That's even on the daily. So that tells you that this can be a kind of a major breakout on this instrument. And if you take it a step further, you can see we have a rising wedge pattern right here. So on the weekly time frame, we have a downtrend. On the daily time frame, we have a rising wedge and we have a head and shoulder pattern. Now, we're expected to take a sell when price breaks below the neckline. This is the neckline region. It's better off looking at it on the daily time frame, though we still eventually might scale down to 4 hour. Currently, RSI is at 49. That means it's already below 50. So if price breaks out below this neckline, we're going to have a massive fall on crude oil. Sometime last year, I gave an analysis like this on crude oil, and that was around November last year, first week in November, and I envisaged a drop to 1,500 pips. And within a month, it actually dropped to 1,000, I think 290 something pips within a month. Now we are going to have another massive breakout like this. All things being equal, if this pattern holds and price breaks out below the neckline, we're going to have a massive free fall on crude oil. Now, should you enter when price breaks below on the daily time frame? If you have enough liquidity to do so, there's nothing wrong with that. Otherwise, I will advise you wait on a lower time frame and enter the retracement. That will be safer. From my entry point will actually be around Fibonacci 38.2. That's at $80, to a barrel. And I envision that price will drop as low as Fibonacci 78.6, and that will be about 778 pips away. So please put your eyes closely on this, and I can tell you in the next few weeks, this instrument, if all this setup, this analysis works out, and no fundamental event changes it, then we should get ready for a massive bearish breakout on crude oil. But again, I'll emphasize that's after price breaks out below the support zone, which is the neckline. Once price is able to break out below that level, then we should have a massive fall on the price of crude oil in the global market. So if you're there, a crude oil trader, just get ready, for some massive movements. Though I will advise you enter more on the 1 hour or the 15 minutes so that you'll be trading intraday and not necessarily on the long term. All right, so let's go now to the intraday setup. I've mentioned the swing. The intraday for now, I have AUD/USD. AUD/USD. Now this trade should be taken with a lot of caution. On the daily time, on the swing, we're having the dollar index bearish. So if the dollar index is bearish, we expect, USD/CHF to sell and an instrument like AUD/USD to buy. And this has actually gone bullish in the course of today. However, it's also hitting a trend line on the daily time frame and is giving a bearish projection. It's possible to have a swing sell on USD/CHF and have, AUD/USD sell a little also on 1 hour. It's very possible. So on 1 hour, I'm looking at a bearish movement on the AUD/USD. What is to be avoided is having a sell on USD/CHF on 4 hour and having a sell on AUD/USD again on 4 hour. That should be avoided. One of them can be wrong. But if it's the other one is on the swing and this one is on the 1 hour, it's very possible. So I have a descending trend on the daily time frame for AUD/USD, and I have a rising wedge on 1 hour. You can see the current candle is already looking bearish. So I'm expecting price to break out in the bearish direction. I'll be looking to make entry at Fibonacci 23.6 and ride the trend down to Fibonacci 50, which can give about 60 pips, and 61.8, we can give about 86 pips. So that's it on Fibonacci 61 points. Sorry, on AUD/USD. I'm bearish on the AUD/USD on the 1 hour time frame. And next I have here is same thing on New Zealand USD also. I equally have a bearish outlook on New Zealand USD. Just like I have it on the AUD/USD, we have price trending down on the daily time frame. And on the 1 hour also, we have a rising wedge. And I expect a further bearish breakout, on this instrument. So I'm bearish again also on the New Zealand USD. These are intraday setups, so it should happen in the course of today. Then I'm also bearish on AUD/CHF. AUD/CHF on the daily time frame, price actually hit a resistance level on the daily time frame. And this is today's candle on that resistance level. And if we flip down to 1 hour, we have a rising wedge. So we're expecting a breakout, downwards on this instrument. So we're bearish on AED CHF. And finally, we have the Euro AUD. And I'm bullish on the Euro AUD. So this is Euro AUD on the daily time frame. We have price bouncing off the trend line on the daily time frame. This is today's candle, and we expect a bullish, continuation. Now the Euro AED, it's like the opposite. It's negatively correlated to the AED CHF. So for this one, you can actually take just one of them. Either you're trading AED CHF or Euro AED. But to be honest, Euro AED can be more volatile, can give more profit compared to the AED CHF. So if that's a choice, you're fine. But just take one, whichever one triggers first, or whichever currency pair you prefer out of the two. So I'm bullish on the Euro AUD, and with price on an uptrend on the daily, a falling wedge on 1 hour. I still anticipate that this might lead to maybe an inverse here. It's an anticipation. It may work like that or not. But the important thing is I expect a breakout in the bullish direction. And if all things, all things being equal, this can give about 55 pips to Fibonacci 38.2, about 100 to Fibonacci 50, and about 150 to 61.8. So like I said, it's a very volatile. They're not extremely volatile, but it's reasonably volatile for trading for a currency. So I'm bullish on the Euro AUD. All right, so that's going to be all from me this morning. Can we enter now on Euro AUD? Well, if according to your trading rule, but for me, I would rather wait for the Fibonacci levels because it can still retrace. Like I said, what I'm still expecting is an inverse head and shoulder here to push it up. So if according to your trading rule, you feel, we all have different trading styles sometimes. So I don't restrict people. There was actually a rejection candle here. If according to your own personal trading rule, you feel you can enter, why not? Go ahead. Can we place pending order on gold? I'm sure you're just joining us. We did. I dropped the trade call on gold. So that's Prince David. Please, let's always try to join on time. That's the only direct signal I gave this morning. For the others, I will encourage us to get them through the weekly market outlook. It will take a lot for me to start posting entry, take profit for about 10 instruments. I actually do 10 instruments for my weekly analysis. So it's a lot of work to start posting all that in a live session. The whole class will look clumsy. So I put it out in an ebook, a PDF material that will title the weekly market outlook. We have the entry point and take profit for all the instruments I've analyzed. I'll be dropping them shortly so you can have access to them. But for the person asking about gold now, that's gold again, the comment section. That's what Prince David. That's the entry, the take profit, and the stop loss for gold. So please trade with a lot of caution. All right, so that'll be all from me this morning. If you have any instruments you want me to analyze, just drop it and I'll check it out for you. NAS 100, Mr. Emmanuel. All right. NAS 100, my view. I actually checked this out. This is my view on NAS 100. From a technical angle, I can see that price hits a support level. There's a support level here. Let's zoom out. Okay, we have a very valid support. Price broke the support from a resistance. That's where price is. So technically, we expect, a reversal at this point. So we flip down to 1 hour time frame. And you can see it's looking like it's trying to sell, but then you need to still filter further. I have a trend line right there. And another one. I think it's better we still take it down to 15 minutes. That will be safer. Good. So this is what it's looking like on the 15 minutes time frame. It's looking like a rise. We can call it a rising wedge. So we have a resistance, a support on resistance on the daily. and a rising wedge on 15 minutes, and price seems to be breaking out, of the rising wedge pattern. I love to use my Fibonacci. Though price seems to be far away from where I would have loved to use as entry on the Fibonacci, which is Fibonacci 23.6. So what do? We can filter further by looking at the next minor support level for price to break. This looks like the support level that's closest, which is still far away. So okay, let's flip down for 5 minutes and still see. Be honest. Okay, I'm not really seeing a clear support zone here. It's not too clear. It's not too clear. Let's not force what is not, forming. What I will advise is this. You can see that price RSI is completely broken. MACD is already below zero. All this points to a bearish breakout. It's already, okay, it's 5 minutes time frame. Let's go back to 15 minutes. Now for Mr. Emmanuel, well, okay, I was checking 5 minutes before. On the 15 minutes, okay, RSI is at 48. Uh, it's already below 50. Maybe by the next 15 minutes candle, you may enter a sell and your stop loss can be above the Fibonacci zero at 17812.50, because it's possible we may have some retracement before we have a final fall. So just trade in line with your trading plan. I'm trying to look for a perfect entry for you. I can't see. That's all I can say for now. It should drop, but I'm not seeing the perfect entry, and it's it's far away from where I would have loved to use as Fibonacci entry, which is 23.6. That's quite far away. You will miss a lot of pips. So you may just have to enter based on personal discretion, or except you want to use a resistance turn support, which is up here. We have a valid resistance here. So we may be looking at a resistance turn support. I think that should be what we should look at. Yeah, we have a resistance turn support right here. So if price breaks out below this resistance on support here, you can trigger itself. Yeah, I think that'll be safe. Because it's always good to wait for those support or resistance levels to be broken. Don't just enter a trade anyhow. Because if that level, if you enter a sell now and this resistance or support holds, it will throw you back, and that would be a negative trade. If you wait for that resistance or support level, then at least you are sure that price will go to the next Fibonacci level at 23.6. So trade with caution. That's for Mr. Emmanuel price, and that's for NAS 100. All right, Mr. Paul is asking about US 30. US 30 is labeled as DG30 on our platform. All right, so for US 30, on the daily time frame, we also have here a support. This is a support zone, a support turned resistance. Price broke support turned resistance. We expect a bearish continuation, and that bearish movement actually started already last week. Now it seems price is trying to pull up again. All right, so we have a descending trend line on the 4 hour. Price may hit this trend line and still fall. But I really don't have any clarity on this one like I have on the NAS 100, but this is what I perceive will happen. Price may pull up to hit the trend line and experience another fall from there. It's not yet a valid setup. So like I said, it's not as clear as what I saw on the NAS 100. Two things, price may pull up and break out downwards, or price may ultimately break out, because again, this looks a lot like an inverse head and shoulder, which should break out. So what I can advise on this one is this. We have a zone. We have a zone around this region up to this trend resistance line there. If price breaks out, excuse me, if price breaks out below this zone, it will be a sell. And if it breaks out above, it will be a buy. So for Mr. Paul, please take note of that. If price breaks out above that box, it means that DJ30 or US30 is going to buy. If it breaks out below it, it means it's going to sell. GBP USD, all right? For GBP USD, on the daily time frame, we have, just like we have on the AED USD, we have price hit a support turn resistance, which should lead to a bearish breakout. That's on the short term, that's on the intraday. But then if you look closely at this instrument, on the weekly time frame down to the daily, this is actually forming an inverse head and shoulder, which should lead to a long-term bullish breakout. But that's still a long term. Our focus should be in the short term. What should happen in the short term should be our focus. For the short term, it's a support formed resistance, which should lead to a short-term bearish movement. So we can flip down to 1 hour time frame and look out for possible entry. And on 1 hour, I can draw my line and draw a second one. It's not working in that direction. Working right here. So I have a perfect rising wedge on my 1 hour time frame. So I'm expecting a bearish breakout on GBP USD. So a bearish on GBP USD. So that's for Mia's iPhone. All right. Then Shubhande was Euro USD. All these instruments seem to be bearish for now, at least on the 1 hour. AED USD, Euro USD, GBP USD is the same scenario. Here again is a support turned resistance support. Price tried, this is a value support. Price tried to break through the support here, it reversed. So it's a key level, all of them support turned resistance. So we expect a bearish movement on the AUD USD. Sorry, on the Euro USD, pardon me. So flip down to 1 hour, and it's still a bearish setup on this instrument. And we form a rising wedge. Let's check. It's not mandatory though. Okay, still formed. So we have a rising wedge also. So we expect a bearish breakout. So Euro USD is bearish. How can we get the PDF, please? Just check your WhatsApp group. I'll drop it there. Prince David, US30. Prince David is like, you're always joining these things late. I already gave my outlook on US30. We are bearish on US30. Oh, okay, better still. I think okay, the US30, sorry, is the one that we have a zone. That if it breaks out above, it's a buy. If it breaks out below, it's a sell. So this is the outlook on US 30. A breakout below this zone means we're having a sell. A breakout above means we're having a buy. All right, so that will be all from me this morning. See, the idea behind all this outlook we give is not that you should trade all of them. Whichever one triggers first, take them, and don't overtrade. It's important you also don't overtrade. Don't have more than three uh, currencies at a time, currency pairs at a time. It's very important. And if you're a currency trader, please stick with the currencies that we give. If you are trading BTC, can trade. Don't just lump all of them together. Stick with what you've been trading, and you will have a good result. Okay, so I'm going to be signing out here. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, sir. Please, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I got it right. At the beginning, you said that USDX is bearish. And you're not saying that all these dollars are also bearish.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like I'm a bit confused. Is it later in the week or intraday?
I also
for both of them?
explained when I was doing that. I said like USD I said it's bearish. It's a double top. We've been watching this since last week. I said it that it looks somehow if I say USD is going to sell, and I said that AED USD is going to sell. But I said because of the time frame difference, it is possible. The USD CHF is on 4 hour, the AED USD is on 1 hour.
Okay,
so the swing might take a longer time before it breaks out. Within the swing breaking, I can say that even though it's a double top and it's expected to sell, currently it looks as if it's buying. You understand? The current candle is bullish. So because it's on a longer term, the short term can still run faster. That is, while this may be a long-term sell, the other one is a short-term sell, even though it's anti the USD this can still run into a sell while the USD is still ranging before it finally breaks out into a sell. So this one can still run its own course through maybe the Fibonacci 50 and now finally go up from there. Then the USD will sell. It's possible because they are not on the same time frame. That's just the bottom line. But if they are on the same time frame, no, that is a complete no. If USD is on 4 hour sell, AUD is in a 4 hour sell, one of them is wrong. That's the truth. One of them is a false analysis. I mean, false signal. Let me use that word, not false analysis, but a false signal. But it's possible to have a sell on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour while they are anti one another. It's very possible. All it means is that the bigger time frame might range while the short term one will still go through before reversing.
Thank you, sir. And please, this I don't know. I don't know the ones you say they are swing setups now. I only know of US BTC USD and USD CHF. I don't know of others, sir. Please.
Okay, the swing setup, USD CHF, the dollar index, the BTC USD, and the New Zealand card. Okay. The New Zealand card is equally, a swing setup. The one I give as an inverse head and shoulder, this particular one here, an inverse head and shoulder, which will lead to a bullish breakout. Then I also give the crude oil, the US oil also, but that's on a longer term. That one too is expected to go bearish, but it's on the daily time frame at the moment.
Thank you, sir.
For the 1 hour, I'm with you, man.
No, I wanted to ask of Euro New Zealand that you gave us last week as swing. I don't know whether the swing trade is still on. Sorry, sir. I couldn't ask.
The Euro New Zealand that I gave last week, I said we were supposed to wait for it to trigger, which never happened. It didn't trigger. It didn't break out below the support zone.
It broke.
Okay. It just broke this morning.
Yes, sir.
It just broke this morning. Okay. Because I was watching it. It didn't break the support zone. It's just early this morning. And did you use a pending order on it?
Yes, I used a pending order. And I was
Okay.
watching it too.
If
So it's
just leave
early
it
this
now.
morning, it broke through.
It's early this morning it broke. I just be watching it.
Okay, sir.
Currently it's retracing, but it might still break out further. So just watch it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so we're rounding up here. If you're yet to open an account with PU Prime, like I said earlier on, you can do that again at www.puprime.com. We'll be having live trading this Friday for NFP. Don't miss it. Money is going to be made. So don't miss the opportunity. Fund your account. If you want to know how to fund your account, reach out to your account manager, or you can send a private chat to me on WhatsApp. We'll guide you through the account funding process. The minimum deposit. That what minimum deposit is subjective. The question is, how much do you want to make? That's just the truth. If you say minimum deposit, yes, minimum deposit on our platform is $50, but to be honest, how much do you want to make with that? That's quite small. So put in something reasonable and you get a tangible, profit from the market as we trade. Now, Akim is asking, it's been a while we analyze the profit scanner system. Yes, we're really, re-engineering some things, and there's a new software we're also bringing out. We had a webinar on it last Friday, and that's the PU demand and supply software. From tomorrow, at least at my own analysis section, we'll start looking at the uh, uh, demand and supply software. We'll still occasionally look at the profit scanner. But if you want to just get direct signals on the PU profit scanner and the demand and supply software, what you need, if you're already an existing client, you can just top up $100 and you'll be added to the Telegram channel where we drop exclusive signal for these two softwares. Exclusive. If you want to be on that, Telegram channel where we drop those exclusive signal, if you're an existing client, top up with the $100. If you're a brand new client, fund $200 and you'll be added to the signal channel strictly for the software. It's our software signal channel for PU demand and supply software and the PU profit scanner system. Software. Okay, so that'll be all this morning. Take care and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a great week.
You too, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Jude.